Hello everyone and welcome back to Durbanites FPL Game Week 33 Review, Game Week 34 Preview. Let's start as usual with the table. So 16 weeks at the top for Fataliteam, setting a new record for this season and also increasing his lead to double figures for the first time in about 4 weeks. So it's all still very tight at the top. Anything could change, and at the bottom as well. But the biggest mover this week is Kokonut Sterren, moving up to 6th place considering she started 2 game weeks behind everyone else. This is an amazing run, and also looking at possibly jumping into the top 5. So let's see how that goes. Now looking at the player selections for the week, 5 in the staples there. Cole Palmer, owned by every single one of the managers this week. William Saliba still holding in that Arsenal defense, 8 out of 10. Then Mo Salah in 7 out of 10, even though he let a few people down, but a double game week coming up. And then Erling Haaland and Phil Foden, the Man City duo, actually up for 6 out of 10 managers these weeks. Now the differentiators from the last week, defenders coming up front, Lucas Digne and Fabian Schär, owned by 1 out of 10 managers, both giving double figure returns this week. And then Anthony Gordon and Alexander Isak, 3 out of 10, both of them also providing double figures, which was really, really good for those managers that had them playing. And then Bernd Leno representing the goalkeepers, 4 out of 10 had them in their selection, and he came up with 9 points this week. Looking at the hits and misses, and there have been a few hits this week. So starting with MSK, who you can see has dominated our second Centurion for this season, 108 points in the week, also scoring 70 plus points from midfield, and adding to Zach's Ammi and Mubs, who captained Cole Palmer, to end up with 52 points from that one. Mubs also scoring with his defense and backline, 30 points from his goalkeeper plus defenders. Really, really good return. And then on the super strikers, MSK is back again with Hassan, 25 plus points from their forward line. So a really good week for MSK to just break away from the pack. In the misses, of course, just myself, Azra, Zai, and Fatih sharing with the unfortunate circumstance of having captained Mo Salah, and he did not perform last week, so just 4 points from him. Now, looking at the best possible selection for the week, we have Bernd Leno at the back, of course, Robinson and Anderson from Fulham and Crystal Palace, respectively. Then here, Digne and Schär with their double-digit returns. But in the midfield, for the first time, we're playing a 4-3-3 where we only have 3 midfielders. Palmer, the standout, of course, with these 26 points, doubled as captain. And then you've got Anthony Gordon and Ross Barkley from making an appearance. Then you've got up front Solanke, Haaland, and Isak. Haaland and Isak are doing well, both 2 goals each. And then Solanke just coming in with 1. And on the bench, Dubravka from Newcastle, Burn as well from Newcastle, and then Odegaard and Garnacho really just mopping up for the midfield. This selection would have got you 150 points, and with 172 if you included that bench, at a total cost of 93.1. So a good team to consider. Now, looking at the fixture rating for the weeks ahead, Brentford, Manchester United, and Newcastle have very winnable fixtures on paper. A lot of them versing relegation bound, relegation battling teams. So definitely teams to look at. But then 7 teams playing double game weeks this week. Arsenal, Liverpool among them as well, chasing for the title. Everton and Sheffield United very much in the relegation battle, also fighting against teams that are in that relegation battle. Everton taking on Forest, and they are just 16th and 17th, so just above relegation. And then Sheffield United playing Burnley. If Sheffield don't win, they are pretty much relegated mathematically. And then you've got Bournemouth, Wolves, and Crystal Palace, all of them that can be spoilers for the team chasing at the top, Aston Villa, Newcastle, and Arsenal. So very, very interesting game to look at. And we're asking to be cautious on Brighton, who've got Man City coming up, and then Aston Villa in a couple of weeks' time. Chelsea and Cole Palmer has been really anchoring them this season, but they've got Arsenal, Villa, and Tottenham coming up in the next 3 fixtures, and then West Ham. It is really, really a gamble here on whether Cole Palmer will be able to carry them through these very, very tough fixtures against the top 5. Then you've got Burnley, who after they play Sheffield this week, you've got Manchester United and Newcastle. West Ham, who crashed out of Europe this week, would then take on Crystal Palace this week, but then Liverpool and Chelsea. And Spurs blank this week and then come back against Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool. It is an insane schedule for them. Definitely not recommending anyone from Spurs at this moment in time. Looking at the back line, Sanchez and Areola are still doubtful, and Pope is definitely out from Newcastle. But the picks for this week, we're looking at Alisson because of his double game week for Liverpool, and then Onana and Dubravka because they have some really good game weeks coming up ahead. In the defensive line, Botman is out, Trippier is now doubtful, might play, Walker and Ake are out for City, as well as Akanji, who's now doubtful, Ait Nouri is still doubtful, and Conor Bradley is out. Even if Conor Bradley was not out, Alexander-Arnold is back, and Trent is a big goal threat, so he will probably be starting for Liverpool in this double game week. And alongside him, Virgil van Dijk is really solid in defense. So look at those two for Liverpool. Roslev's been doing well week after week for Brentford, and with the run of games that they have coming up ahead, you might want to add him for some additional funds into your team. And then looking at Diogo Dalot, William Saliba, and White and Gabriel from Arsenal. That Arsenal defense has been rock solid this season. As they push for the title, they will need to keep up that performance, so definitely wants to look at double game week this week as well. Let's not forget that. Looking at the midfield though, so a lot of guys out and probably will not contribute for the rest of the season. Sinisterra from Bournemouth, Neto from Wolves, Toma from Brighton, Richarlison from Spurs, and Douglas Luiz unfortunately from Villa. But looking at the picks, we've put Cole Palmer up top. He's got tough games coming up, but he is on scintillating form. So the question is, do you keep him or not? We've put him up there because I think we cannot ignore him. But then you've got Phil Foden and De Bruyne. Again, Man City now have the ascendancy, and they want to maintain that. And they have good fixtures coming up, and De Bruyne is hitting form at the right time. So definitely ones you want to look at. Then you've got Bowen from West Ham and Bruno Larsen from Burnley. Both of them are top performers as well. Bruno Larsen's a dead ball specialist, and Burnley need to start winning. So just keep an eye on that. Then you've got Saka and Odegaard from Arsenal, as well as Rice. You could also throw in Kai Havertz and Martinelli, but we don't want to overload this with Arsenal players. So these are the top three that we choose in this double game week for the run into the final. Then from Newcastle, Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes. These two are on excellent form, great returns from the last couple of games. So ones that you want to look at. Sheffield United in the battle, playing twice this week. So I've put in Ben Brereton Diaz again. He has been a bit of a find for them in the latter half of the season. If you're looking for funds, if you're looking for a player that you can use as a differentiator, he might be the one this week. And then Liverpool with their double game week, Diogo Jota's back and might be able to start. Luis Diaz has been knocking in the goals over the last couple of weeks. And of course, we cannot ignore Mo Salah. Even though he's having a bad run of form, he is still the third best performing midfielder in the Premier League this season, only eclipsed by the heroics of Phil Foden and Cole Palmer. So again, might be worth a look, and captaincy for this double game. Looking at the forwards, Callum Wilson, Awani, Evan Ferguson, all of them out. Haaland picking up a knock and now is doubtful, but 75% chance that he might play, so not out of it. And Cunha, highly doubtful because of picking up a muscle injury, but he scored 2 goals in the time that he played last week. Definitely one that you still might want to keep in mind because Wolves have a double game week this week. So looking at the teams here and the picks, Watkins is now the top performing forward in the Premier League for Villa. Solanke's got a double game week this week, as does Darwin Núñez. So you might want to look at that. Isak's on scintillating form. He's got great game weeks ahead, and he's definitely bringing in the returns. So look at him. Cunha, as we said, scored well last week, but might be doubtful this week. Haaland, same situation as well. Tony and Wissa, they're looking to bring up the strike partnership, as well as Brian and Mbeumo as well, because Brentford have a good run coming in. Rasmus Højlund is who Manchester United will look at to start putting in goals in this good run that they have, if they're going to maintain a challenge at 6th or 5th spot, possibly, with Spurs having a very tough run coming up ahead. Then you've got, in terms of looking at the teams that are fighting relegation as well, you've got Mateta down at the bottom of Crystal Palace. He's doing really well. Calvert-Lewin's hit a good vein of form now, looking at Everton and the run into the final. And Chris Wood, in Awani's absence, has been putting in some goals. And like I say, Everton, Forest, Sheffield United, these guys have to win. Any losses at this stage means that they're probably looking at the top this season. Now, that was a quick wrap up, guys. I know it's late, almost 2 hours, 2.5 hours left before the run in. Hope this video helps you. Don't forget to like, comment, share as you might feel necessary. And good luck with this game week, and I'll catch you on the wrap up. So much for now.